AutoZone. Time 5:57 a.m. Monday morning, 11/14/2011. How about that with a closing price of 337.66? How about this? A bid of 330.91 pennies with an ask of $340. Well, now how do I get in? And what do I do? Well, in the pre-market, what you'll do is you'll throw your bid out there. So that's 330. That's almost that's 8 pennies or 9 pennies from 331. And you can see the spread. So you throw your limit order to purchase here and now at 332.75 This is a new addition. In the bid and ask in pre-market, there is a certain way of doing business. This is one of them. The other thing is AutoZone is a new market maker stock that has a general today's range, dollar price movement, and a very nice area. MMTs will watch it, and you'll get to see how it actually works. Another one we introduced is CME. And here it is. Bid 263 and the ask is 265.29. Look at here. The close was 263.57. Well, the ask is below that close. That is technically a gap down, and that's weakness. And we introduced the CME. Another one that we introduced was, well, this one here, we're doing some strategies. I put out an email on this one. We know what we're going to do with it. But once again, we know what the story would be behind this one. And we're going to add to positions that are good, because no matter what, that copper and gold is going to work. But we also added this one, CMG, at close Friday 332.02 with a bid of 328.03 and an ask of 335.48. Well, how do I get in on something like this? Well, naturally, MMTs here now in pre-market at 5:59 a.m. 11/14/2011. It's here and it's now, not after the fact. No. And as a market maker, how do I steal that closing price below the market? That's at 332.02 pennies. There's your ask. Now that's a gap above the close, and that bid is a gap down below the market, below the close. So you got both in play. The way to get hit on this, and two of these are associated. AutoZone's a retail stock, and Chipotle Mexican Grill, well, we know that it's also tied to retail. But it doesn't matter. CME, they all have a characteristic in price pattern. This is the part that I want to emphasize with new MMTs and or MMTs that were not available for the Sunday training session. At least you know that you have live videos, and these are 3 new MMT market maker stocks. And that, how do I steal gaps and how do I do things? Well, I'm going to put a bid out here at 329.50. I would love to steal that bid at that price. The close is 332. I'm wholesale. If I stole it well below that ask of 335.48, I'm going to work that market, MMT. I'm not going to sit here in the sideline. I know how to take advantage of the bid and ask with the public, because I know what the equities will do in a long and short bid and ask movement all day. That's a buyer and a seller, and the buyer's on the bid and the ask and everything that goes on with it. But part of understanding pre-market futures manipulation and the corruption that people don't understand at times, because there is at times, is that when you get this wide a bid and ask, you want to buy that one and you want to buy this one right here, and you want to put your limit orders out there, because what that is, that's a markdown to the entry. Somebody has to be willing to sell it to you, and so therefore if you do not have the limit order, you're not getting hit. And same thing over here. This one's more tight, the bid and ask on CME. It's, you know, it's in a different type of sector, but still nonetheless it's gapping down below the 263.57 once again. And at 6:02 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, these are the three new MMT additions, along with overbought stocks like TJX. Walmart's getting up there. Ross Stores is really overbought, as I recall. Dillard's got slammed on its earnings, and that one is coming down and hitting the bottom. Nordstrom's had something to sell, like always, but they're not selling as much. And then, of course, it's all about how overbought the names are. Meaning that if all the news is priced in, and I'm 94% overbought on a weekly MMTs, yeah, they've executed well, and yeah, maybe the consumer will be buying. So what? It's already priced in. The upside is limited for the bull, and that's why we're looking at shorting that good news, meaning that the stocks have already rallied and they've priced it in. So the TJX, yeah, they've done well. They can stay overbought for a period of time on weekly charts, and we went over them all. And you have the live videos, MMTs. Now get your rear ends over there and get on all of this right here, right now in pre-market. And the index is MVR.X, called Morgan Stanley Retail. This is that whole area. We have it here, but we have it in, you know, we know how overbought that some of them are and why they would have to come down. Okay? That is going to conclude pre-market. We're going to be watching the Google gap. What kind of gap down do we get today? Meaning it's not a big markdown because of European pre-market futures and overnight chaotic events that were happening. Greece was that markdown. Now that Google has to go up, we have a complete series of special live interaction entries and exits with this name. And what we're looking for is the close at 608.35 and the bid right here in the ask. And what's going to happen is that Google has areas to clear through 1250. Once it shoots to that 615 area, you would like to see a 2.00 ratio breakout above that key area, which would equal $2. So you'd be up at 617 area. Remember that the weekly trend, in its first pass, it has to peak within the trend cycle. So we're looking for that 620 area to move it up to that 625 handle that we have talked about for the last month. And it had a wonderful, wonderful 4-week consolidation in Google right here. And here is that Google consolidation. Now, outside of all the headline events, how do you take out these highs? And this is what we're on the lookout for. Okay? And if we're going to break through here, that 620 area, we talked about this weeks ago. We were involved in this weekly breakout. That's huge. But then it's the ascending weekly. Once you break out, you take a look at the majority mathematically. So you know that this portion of the weekly bar right here is up at the highs. Okay? And you know that you're ascending from this point, meaning that you're mathematically ascending and you're making higher highs. you come up on Friday and tested this high. Now, on the opening bell, what I'm going to tell MMTs, the reason why we had to put puts on it is 2 times in a row we were marked down with European events. 1 being Greece, 2 being Italy. And the thing about it is, we were not going to risk the 3rd time. We did buy a 520 put that was $2 below the market on Friday. So we saved $2 when we bought it. We can always come out of that if I give the green light that we are going to come up here and we're going to have to break through these weekly. Here, let me take this out of the way. This is what we have to do. This whole area right here in your platform, in your market maker platform, the SMF market maker platform, if we're going to break right through here, then it's going to be a clean break. That IR will stay at 95 and higher for quite a while. The SMF bid and ask ratio in the platform will stay up toward its original intraday high peak within, let's say, 10 points. So if it hits a half a delta on the first intraday high, you pull back 10 points below it, that holds, and we would know then, and only then, if we should come out of the 520 put. Because once the ascending part breaks higher, we can still go buy another put that would work much better, because the weekly trend at some point will reach its course. And right now I can tell you we're 79.39%. The MACD is 10.4. That's that weekly buy signal. And that was the only reason why we were in the name. And at 6:09 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11/14/2011, pre-market discussion with live MMTs here and now. And if you have any questions about what I'm asking, feel free to ask it now. This is what that ascending part looks like. Now, headline volatility is separate from this, but it's where this breaks out. This is going to be the pre-market update for MMTs in our database in pre-market for the things that were discussed over the weekend for the people that weren't able to be present on Sunday training.